What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Ring the Bell Phillies podcast. Christy Francesco, Jason Kent here with you as well. And we're introducing a new player to this team. Just to be truthful, I have known the kid since he was born. So if that one shows you how old I am, which is wild to think. But Johnny McElroy, what's going on, man?
How you doing? Excited to be here.
Yeah, for sure. John has always followed any, I guess, Phillies, anything that we've done, any kind of baseball thing that I've done. And lately he's been someone who has been commenting in our section. I reached out to him. He's a really good baseball guy. He's played baseball his whole life. So really want to get his thoughts and opinions on the Phillies. So to kind of give everybody an idea of what's going on. So just to let everybody know, we are live on a Thursday night. However, just to let everybody know, and to kind of give you a programming note here, this is pretty much what's going to be the norm from here on out. And I think even going into next year, which is what Jason and I were talking about earlier today, I think we are going to be doing 2 shows a week from here on out. Is that right, Jay?
Yeah, I think so. It was something we've been talking about since we started the show. Once we went to live on YouTube and Facebook and all that, really starting to pump the 2 shows a week. So it really feels like we're heading there, and it feels like it's been a long time coming. So it feels really good.
Yeah, for sure. So then, here's the idea. Here's the plan. You're going to get another show on Sunday. That's going to be normal. The main show is obviously on Sunday. That's where we recap everything. And then we preview for the entire week ahead. However, beginning tonight, now, what we're going to do is do a show most likely Wednesday nights or Thursday nights, depending on if it's a 3-game or 4-game set, if there's a rain out, a makeup day. We're going to just basically recap that first series of the week and then preview the weekend series. Kind of give you guys like a midweek dessert right around now. So usually we'll come out here live immediately after the Phillies Wednesday or Thursday night game to talk. The Phillies are basically like just moments away from taking 3 or 4 against the Washington Nationals, which we'll get into. We'll also discuss, obviously, the no-hitter that occurred Wednesday night, which was pretty damn historic. I'll actually let John talk to you guys about that because I don't want to steal his thunder. He talked about this with me on the phone earlier, and he brought up a really cool thing that for some reason I didn't even think about. So let's kind of get started here. First off, I do want to say, as the Phillies are about to hopefully wrap up this game against the Nationals, they're currently winning 6-2 in the top of the 9th. No other teams in the National League wildcard race played tonight. So if and when the Phillies pick up, this W here, there'll be a game up on the Giants for the top wildcard spot, 4 ahead of the Miami Marlins, who is the 3rd spot, and 4.5 ahead of the Cubs, which is, the first team on that bubble. So Jay and John, I got to get used to that. Jay and John, the Phillies, which, Jay, we've been talking about for weeks, the Phillies need to have a week where they start really pulling away from the other wild card teams. Because, look, I'm not here to say that they're not going to catch the Braves for the division, but that's not necessarily, I think, should be any of our focus right now. Our focus should be just keep winning games and at least secure ourselves a top 1 or 2 playoff spot in that wild card. But Jay, it looks like the Phillies are doing exactly kind of what we were hoping they would do, and that is start to try to pull away from the rest of the wild card teams.
Yeah, especially I felt like it started last week. Had a 5-2 week. You said they would go 6-1 this week. Seems like they're headed there. And the good thing is a lot of your other teams are losing. San Fran's 5-5, Miami's 3-7, Cubs are, they're the only team really winning 6-4. Reds are 2-8, Diamondbacks are 1-9. So it looks like a lot of those teams where we were kind of frantic early, thinking and hoping the Phillies would win, where some of those teams were running away. Mm-hmm. they're starting to play down to what we thought they may be in the beginning of the season, and the Phillies are really starting to play up to where we thought they'd be. And I think today was a great game. It really showed what this offense can do when everybody's really clicking. And the pitching's looking pretty good, and the bats are really coming alive. Turner, for all I did smashing him for the standing O, it really seems like it helped him, and he's batting like 380 over the last week. So I guess I was wrong on that one.
Hey, look, 99% of the fan base was wrong on that one. By the way, the Phillies just rung the bell. They just took 3 of 4. They finished this game here, and they beat the Nationals 6-2. So guess what? If you guys want to watch a post-game show, head over right now to our YouTube page, head over to my Facebook, Twitter, and click us up. We're here. We're here live immediately following the game. So, John, again, let me, if you can, John, piggyback off of what Jay just said about how it's so important right now for the Phillies to start pulling away in that wild card race.
I 100% agree. The one thing I'm looking forward to is hopefully the last week of the season, you don't have to worry about playing all your players full time. You can rest a couple pitchers, maybe pull the guys from the minors, let them throw a little bit. You don't have to extenuate Wheeler or Nola, who got tired last year at the end of the season. And it seems like Nola's been tired all year. It's the most he's ever pitched. He pitched deep in November, didn't miss a single start last year. So hopefully we can get them a few extra days rest at the end of the season, and we can get that wrapped up pretty early.
Yeah, I agree. So let's kind of wrap up today's game before we go backwards, since this last game here against the Nats just ended. So, man, looking at this game, let's just look at the offense for a second. They hit 3 home runs tonight. Trey Turner, Casty, and JT. They've hit 17 home runs, the Phillies, in their last 6 games. It's just absolutely crazy. And, let's just kind of talk about Nick Castellanos. Jay, man, we were real worried coming out of the All-Star break if the Phillies were going to have Castellanos and Trey Turner still not hitting or remotely swinging a mild bat, right? These two guys, especially Nick Castellanos, holy cow, man, they're locked in. John, what are you seeing maybe differently out of Nick Castellanos that you weren't seeing maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago?
He's not chasing as much, and he's kind of locked in more than he was recently.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most important thing would be, how would I put this? I think just the atmosphere of his family being there, and his son's it seems like every time Liam's there, and especially this week, he's just on a different level when his son's in the ballpark.
Yeah, it's wild to think, but that's kind of the way it's been, which is crazy. But yeah, Castellanos is, man, he's an absolute threat. And if you look at Trey Turner, a lot has been said about the standing ovations. Look, the fact of the matter is, I'm not one for, breaking a jinx or all that kind of stuff. I think that stuff is all hogwash. I don't believe in jinxes necessarily, which might be contradictory because I'm massively superstitious when I play baseball or anything. But when I look at a guy like Trey Turner, and John and Jay, you guys can probably also attest to the same thing. When you have a history of being as prolific as a hitter as a Trey Turner is, you have to think in the back of your head that he's going to come out of it, right? Whether it's mid-September, late August, early August, you have to think that someone that good is going to come out of it, John.
I think he was just overwhelmed with a lot of pressure where he seemed, especially Castellanos last year, where fans were booing him and they were really in his head, and that's why he struggled so much. I think Trey was feeling that same exact pressure, and that standing ovation kind of just boosted his morale a little bit where he wasn't thinking as much.
Mm-hmm. Jay?
It does seem like that. Because like you said, I think in the offseason, we wanted Trey because he had that history. It's not like he was a 270 1 year, 300, 250. He's a 300 hitter. Guy that's going to hit you about 20 home runs. So we did say it a lot last year with Casty, where we really believed he was going to come out of it. I don't know why I doubted Trey, but yes, a dude that's a professional hitter, as good as he is, he's done it for 7 straight years now. you
Mhm.
do expect him to get hot at some point, and it really seems like, I think like John said, maybe once they got that standing O, he's able to just feel a little relief, get that little bit off his shoulder, and stop thinking about it and just say, okay, it's time to go play. It really feels like he just started playing like a kid again.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's exactly, and I think that goes back to what John was saying is, man, the pressure has been on him since day one. And again, I know we've mentioned this a couple times already. And John, this is the first time you're here, and you actually brought this up to me when I saw you face to face the other day. We are really seeing, or we did see for a long time, the true effects of not having um, Reese Hoskins in this lineup. I think what it did was it added more pressure to every other guy, every other tippy top guy in that lineup, whether it's Nick Castellanos, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper. It added a little bit more pressure to these guys. And do you agree, John, that we're at a point now where now that monkey is off their back and now they're just playing baseball?
Yeah, I think they're realizing that they like how good of a baseball team they are, and when
Yeah.
they're all clicking like they are right now, I mean, there's no team that can stop this offense. I don't think there's a pitching staff in the MLB that right now that can stop them at all. But they had to replace 35 home runs and 80 plus RBIs a year. I mean, that's really really hard to replace, and you were expecting him to play first base every single day for them. And
For sure, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So as it stands right now, the Phillies are a season high 12 games over 500. And again, they have a 4.5 game cushion on the first team outside of the wild card race. If you guys are just joining us, this is the Ring the Bell podcast. I guess you can call it the post game show, the post series show, midweek series, whatever you want to call it. But one major thing happened in Thursday night's game that we have to talk about because we don't know the severity yet. Bryce Harper left the game early with mid back spasms. He's going to be going under further evaluation. John, I'll ask you. Bryce has had a history of sort of back issues, mainly because of when you're an offensive, when you're a hitter with such a violent swing that Bryce has, back spasms become kind of something that pops up here and there for him. But this didn't happen swinging a baseball bat. This looked like when he went down to make a defensive play that bounced off of the first base, bounced off the first base, and he, I guess, seemingly struggled from then on out to kind of stand up a little bit on his own without some discomfort. What was your immediate thoughts when you heard Bryce has left the game and he is not coming back?
well, I was just thinking, like, what could he have possibly done? Because there was really nothing. You couldn't really tell exactly what was really bothering him. And I'm like, oh, great, season's over. Like, great, we lost our guy. But I mean, I'm not really too worried because he does have a history of it, and he usually comes back. Except for that one season after he won MVP where he had the back spasms all year and he struggled that entire season. But hopefully he comes back to normal. But I just think he's not used to playing the field. He hasn't played the field in, a year and a half, and he's played, 10 games so far about? I mean, his body's not used to being out there moving around. He's just been sitting in the dugout the whole time just swinging. So I think it just has to do a little bit with that. Maybe give him a few days off and see what happens after that.
Yeah, you got to really see what the severity of it is, because if you all get on that Google machine and you look up the old WebMD, these back spasms can really last either days or they can last weeks. So that's where my issue comes, because you're in a race now. You're in a race to make the playoffs. You're in a race to, this is where your horses are playing every day. But when you have a Bryce Harper, Jay, who's so important to this team, is this something where you go, look, just take a week and let's see where we are in a week? Because this is somebody you absolutely need healthy for a postseason run.
Oh, if he tells me he's okay tomorrow, I'm trusting him. He's okay at this point. Like like you said, we're in the mid. This is the time you need to play. You need him in there. And his bat really seems to be starting to come around. So if he comes to me tomorrow and says, I'm good to go, I'm putting him in first base. It just it seemed like a bad hop, and I'm sure his natural reaction is to kind of come away from it. So I'm sure that kind of just tweaked his back a little bit. Listen, you want to sit him tomorrow? I'm okay with it. He better be playing Sunday when I'm there.
You got to make sure that you have to appease Jason.
Okay, yeah.
But absolutely. Soul Man checking in from Arizona. Really appreciate that, man. But yes, thank you for the congratulations. The congratulations goes to my sister. I had nothing to do with it. So the congratulations goes to my sister who birthed a baby boy last week. So congratulations to her. And looking forward to meeting little Gio. So really excited for that. But thank you for the congratulations. So let's now take a step back and let's look at what happened Wednesday night inside Citizens Bank Park. I'm almost kicking myself because my brother called me early afternoon on Wednesday, said, "Hey, do you want to go to a Phillies game?" And I said I can't because I had to work. And you almost look back and go, "Damn it, I would have been part of a no-hitter." Obviously, it's not anything you can predict, but notwithstanding, John, you brought this up on the phone call with me earlier today as we were talking about this show. If you can you kind of relay it to the audience why this is arguably the most unique no-hitter of all time?
I mean, we can start off with the guy who started it off, Wes Wilson. I mean, his first home run, his first major league at bat, how great is that? And then you have his dad out there who, I mean, he worked hard for 7 years. And I read today that his parents were helping him and his wife just like get by a little bit because he was trying to make his dreams come true of playing in the MLB. And his dad just a surreal moment to see him in tears, like when his son just hit his first career home run and his first hit in his debut. And then you have Lorenzen, who just, I mean, his home debut. I mean, who could in front of this crowd in this city, you throw a no hitter in your home debut, and not to mention your mother's in the stands watching this, and your wife's there, and your daughter's there, and that's just a surreal moment. And his father passed away 10 years ago this month, I believe, and his dad's birthday is today too. So I mean, there's just so many different things that happen in one day, and we can't forget about Castellanos, who hits 2 home runs in one game and then make his 200th career home run. I mean, imagine having one of those balls and giving it up for nothing. I mean, that's just Those two balls are it's real historic game that I've never witnessed anything like it. And then Rojas is the first time in 125 years that the center fielder catches 9 fly ball outs and a no hitter.
So according to Elias Sports, Johan Rojas had 9 putouts, or the most by an outfielder in an official no hitter since 1900. The previous high was 7 from Hank Bauer in 1951, and Luis Gonzalez, former Detroit Tiger and former Arizona Diamondback, in 1993. So that's pretty freaking cool, man. Of course, Jay, I told that to Jay, and he had to find something negative to say.
He even said it's a lot of hard hit balls. Like, you're giving up a lot of hard hit balls there.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and it's cool because even Lorenzen mentioned it. He said, "Thank God they weren't hit the left or right field because they would have ended up in the second deck." So, so it was awesome. But I will say this, and it's an Aaron Nola tidbit. And again, I sent you guys this earlier. It's like really wild stuff. The starting pitcher for the Phillies, their following game after the Cole Hamels no-hitter in 2016, Aaron Nola, which was his second major league start and his first career win, mind you. And tonight's starting pitcher was Aaron Nola. So that's pretty good. Aaron Nola pitched a really good game, threw too many pitches, couldn't get the Phillies out of the 6th inning without, of course, stranding runners on first and third with no outs. So, look, I think it was a good performance by Nola. The offense didn't come up big, but still, and I said this to Jay in a text message that really, and of course, he, had his Nola jersey on, so he had to defend him, where I said, look, you really need Aaron Nola to go more than 5 innings tonight. You just have to. But still, he kept them in the game, did leave them in a bit of a struggle position. Thank God it's like the Nationals. Not anybody that's a devastating roster. And the Phillies were able to get out of it and obviously get the win. But again, let's go back to what John said about the no-hitter and how rare this was in terms of his very first home start with a team that he was just traded to. He became the second pitcher to do this in the last 125 years and the first person to do that in more than 60 years. So this is, usually the Phillies are on the wrong side of history with these kinds of things. So it was really cool to see. Thanks, Ryan Minjin, checking in here. Legendary baseball coach and player. Big shout out to him for this. It was really, really cool to see the Phillies actually come out on a really good side of history with this, Jay. What were you thinking when you were watching this?
I was just more impressed with the way he's looked as well. He's still hitting 95 in the ninth.
Yeah.
He's looking good. He pitched 8 innings his first start. I remember you said it to me after his first start is he really maybe could this guy replace Nola? And I kind of laughed it and scoffed at it because, just look at his career. But if the kid keeps it up, I said I think it's more like a Blanton type of deal where you're bringing him in to hope he eats up some innings and looks okay. But he's really saved this bullpen in his 2 starts. That's really was struggling early in the season. So it's nice to see him come in and really give them a day off. And they didn't really have to waste too much tonight. So it was nice to really see that. But he's just been super impressive. I was not expecting this from him.
Yeah. What I love about him is the fact that he showed, and I got to give Topper credit. I know John hates that, but I got to give Topper credit for sticking with Lorenzen, especially, going through over 120 pitches. Again, it shows you that the pitch count can be such BS. This dude is the longest game he's ever pitched, and he's still chucking 95, 96 at pitch 121, right? So it just shows that, look, you gotta just let these guys cook, man, if they're up there doing damage. And Frankie Doling checking in, stud ace pitcher from Rider University, who had me there for quite some time, where I got my bachelor's degree from. So shout out to you, Frankie. You're a stud. Proud of you. And you look at this kid now, and what I was saying is, you don't go out and get a right-handed pitcher like a Michael Lorenzen if there's not some thought that you can bring him back for another year or so. And I look at it this way. He was a reliever for a long time, a spot starter here and there. He goes to the Tigers and really finds himself and becomes an all-star pitcher. There's not a lot of mileage on that arm. So he's 31 years old, yes, but there's not a ton of mileage on him. And for those of you who really want to dig deep into Michael Lorenzen, you really got to find out how he trains. He's a freak athlete. And, he goes all over the world to different trainers and finds ways to keep his body absolutely pristine and in such incredible shape to handle the wear and tear of being a professional pitcher. And, man, I'll tell you what, I'll ask you, Jay, if this keeps up, is this a guy that in the offseason you go, yeah, let's give him a good, 3-year deal?
I just love the next level analysis that we provide on this show, that Michael Lorenzen goes across the world for training. Yeah. I just appreciate that. If he, because you already know Nola may be gone. So you already know you're probably out him. It's going to be tough, but if he looks good, you might as well bring him back because Wheeler's going another season. You don't know. I don't think Painter's going to be up next year. You don't know what you have down there. Why not give him a nice 2-3 year deal if you can keep it around $8 million because you need to save some cap? You can throw him a deal if he looks good. I think it's a smart move. This, it seems like this trade's really paying off. It was a low risk, high reward type of trade. So, you throw something at him, hopefully, and he stays if he looks well.
Absolutely. I agree. How about you, John?
But when they got him, I was like, all right, we got a reliable guy. Hopefully eat some innings up for us, and then playoff time comes around, you throw him in the bullpen. I did not expect this. Now I'm looking at him like, this guy could possibly, start like the third game or the second game, evenly for the way pitches has been all year. So
who's starting game 2. Stop it. Topper's rolling with number 27, game 2, no matter what.
You're probably right, but this he has an opportunity that he can actually start a playoff game instead of getting sent to the bullpen, which I'm not opposed to because you know how great Ranger was in the bullpen too, so we can throw him
Yeah.
in the bullpen as well. So there's a lot of options that they do have, and I don't know how I would feel about an extension yet because I just don't. There's not enough work there as a starter.
I agree.
That's why I can't trust that because then it could just be that 1 year where he has a great year, then you give him that deal, and it's like Tyler Anderson over with the Angels. He's absolutely horrible again. I mean, he was great for the Dodgers on his 1 year deal, and then now look at what the got all that money, and has what a 5 ERA and what 5-10 is his record or something like that. So I mean, it's just I can't trust those things.
But you're right. You know that resume is not there. But I'll tell you what, he's not going to sit here and tell you he's going to pitch another no hitter. But if he's going to go the rest of the season, given the Phillies really 6-7 inning outings, I mean at least 6. I'm not going to expect 7 or more from Lorenzen every outing. But if he's going to give you 6 quality innings for the rest of the season, and I'm sure if the Phillies get deeper into the playoffs, he's going to pitch some high leverage games.
I was going to say that, Chris. That's the one thing. It's impressive right now, barring something catastrophic. I'm not saying we're going to make the run to the World Series because I didn't have him in it, but
I do.
If we do, we're not going to have to throw bullpen games this year.
You're right.
It's really good because now with him looking well, this is a very deep rotation. I don't think you have your really. If Wheeler's on, he's your number one, but you have a lot of guys behind it that can pitch pretty well. So I do think now with Lorenzen in there, Ranger, Walker, I think you're a pretty deep staff right now, and I'm happy with the way we look if they keep it up.
I agree. All right, so we're going to take a quick pause for the cause. We're going to pay some bills around here, and then we're going to get back. We have a couple injury updates that just came out from the Phillies. But however, let's talk about the official sponsor of this show, the ones who keep us rolling here, and that is our friends at Manscaped. But so tonight, it's Thursday night, which means it's preseason football. So this goes out to all you fantasy football fanatics. As draft season approaches, don't neglect the most important draft pick of all, your game balls. We all know how injuries can ruin a season, so let Manscaped take care of that Reggie Bush of yours with their skin-safe technology. This should guarantee you have a smooth ride into the playoffs. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have created a championship lineup with their Performance Package 4.0, and it's time for you to do the same. Join the 9 million men, that's 9 million with an M, million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, and get ready for kickoff by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with our code BASEBALL20. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Toner, Performance Boxer Briefs, and a travel bag. Slotted at quarterback, we have the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. This spaceship is here to guide you on a journey to trim your body, balls, and even that A-gap. This 4th-generation trimmer also features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on-off switch, can engage a travel lock, and is even waterproof. The Lawnmower 4.0 also has a 4,000K LED light. What the hell is an LED light doing on a trimmer? But Manscaped's got you covered. It's brighter than Bryce Young's future in the end zone. This Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker, the ultimate flex. Watch it run through ear and nose hairs like Aaron Donald runs through your favorite quarterback. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system. God, say that 5 times. This nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs in those sensitive holes. Don't forget the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and their Crop Reviver to help your little bench warmers be on their A-game while feeling the sun's heat. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and Shed Travel Bag. Man, who's the commish now? So get 20% off and free shipping with the code BASEBALL20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with our code BASEBALL20 at manscaped.com. All right, welcome back. How about that? Manscaped.com.
I don't know how you do it without not laughing the whole entire time.
It's an on-off switch. When I read those before the show, I laugh all the time, every single time. I'm just like trying to focus on reading it, let
Those
alone
those
laughing
nose
at it.
hair trimmers are amazing.
Yeah,
I'll
they
push
are.
them every time. And the
Yes,
light,
especially
like
in his A gap.
if you not saying to shave in the dark, but
Yeah,
if you need to, if that if the power goes out and hey, I got a hot date tonight, you got to shave them up. That's what the LED light's there for, bud.
my man. Jason's hot date tomorrow is me.
Let's
So
go.
let's do some injury updates that just came out. Harper, according to Topper, is day to day. I'm sure we'll probably get more updates on that tomorrow. Bryson Stott, he's fine. Should be good to
Good.
go. JT Realmuto is going to be re-examined tomorrow. So that is a little scary to me.
Could be a broken finger.
It could be. I'm sure. But the fact is, Harper has back spasms day to day. That's what Topper talked about after the game. The only other issue there to me is losing JT because, we had JT out for a week or so before that with the blister on his finger. So not being without two of those guys, that's a little bit of an issue for me moving forward. John, are you worried about any of those three injuries?
The JT one scares me a little bit with it's possibly there's a broken finger in there or something. The depth at catcher, they don't have much depth at all.
Nah.
And Stubbs is not in there every once a week. He's great and having him in there and everything, but every day I don't know. And Marshawn, any updates on him? How's he progressing with his injury? He had that thigh, that femur bruise or whatever it was, or breaker. So I mean, he can't go. I don't even know who's even in the minors that can even come up and catch at this point.
No one. They don't have a minor league catcher.
I don't
that can catch.
I don't appreciate the Stubbsy disrespect from a special guest. Special guest coming in here disrespecting the Stubster.
Well, the Stubster. I should mute you for the rest of the show. So let's kind of again rewind it back a little bit and talk about Aaron Nola. To me, it looked like he labored through 5 innings. Again, he left the game with an 1 earned run allowed. That's he left those runners on base.
Very lucky.
So he was
only one. Yeah.
Yeah, he was responsible for that. 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. Matt Stram allowed that inherited runner to score after that double coming into the game in that 6th. But he did get out of that jam, and he got the win. So he got his 8th win of the season. I'll tell you what, the most encouraging thing I saw tonight outside of the offense, man, Sir Anthony Dominguez, a quick and easy 8-pitch, 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. How about that, John? Sir Anthony looking real good tonight.
Yeah, we need him. I'm tired of seeing Hoffman and Covey and all those guys.
Yeah,
and high leverage situation. I mean, he pitches great when you're up 5 or you're down 5. It's great. The game's on the line, it seems like that he's always blowing it somewhere or another.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so let's walk away and let's talk about what's coming up, and that is a 3-game set in Minnesota against the Twins. Jay, what are you expecting? What are you looking for in this one, especially where it looks like they might be down JT and Harper for the weekend? I'm assuming.
It's a winnable series. You should take 2 or 3. They're a team that they're in first place. They just lost 3 in a row to Detroit. So hopefully maybe you're catching them at a good time. I do like our pitching compared to theirs. We don't know who's going Sunday yet, but I do expect taking 2 or 3 from them. I do expect, even I think if JT and Bryce miss a day or 2, well, Bryce hopefully, even if they miss the series, I see them taking the series. I don't see them really struggling with Minnesota.
John?
I think pitching needs to step up. I do think it's a very winnable series. I think they can even sweep. I'm not sure they will. I think it's going to be, they'll take 2 or 3, but a very winnable series, and I expect them to win. And just pitching needs to step up a little more. They've been pitching fantastic, but just a little more with those 2 guys out of the lineup.
So I need a sweep so I can get that 6-1 prediction down. But by the way, looking at the video again, I just watched it while you were talking. I was listening to you clearly, John. It looks like the injury for Bryce occurred on the pickoff attempt where he reached backwards to try to make a tag.
Okay.
And right after that was when he kind of squatted down a little bit with some discomfort. Look, John, I'll ask you. You played baseball for a long, long time. Do you have any history with back issues whatsoever?
Now, my stuff is more with my arms and everything, but there's sometimes you just do something weird and it's just something you're not used to, and you sit there with that pain and it's really bugging you and bothering you, and at some point you got to get out of the game. But I think he's fine. I think it's just the lack of not doing it and that torque that he's not used to. I think it just has to do with that. I mean, he's never played first base in his major league career, so it's something new and it's something he's got to get used to. But I think it's just one of those freak things that just happened because he's not used to doing it as much.
I agree with you, and I'm really fingers crossed. Like, look, everybody has their guy that they'll support. I really just need Harp to be okay. I think about it every single day. Like, oh, good, I get to watch Bryce Harper today. So we need this. We can't have and that goes for like JT or any of these starters. It's August. It's almost mid-August. We just can't have these injuries because, like you said, the Phillies just don't have the depth to recover with these guys, and that's just it sucks. I think that's something that we're going to talk about way down the line after the parade in November, and I just feel like they're going to really have to address the roster from a depth perspective going into 2024. So we'll talk about that way down the line.
Yeah, how much depth can you have when you have guys making that much money?
Yeah, that's another issue.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, wait until Ohtani gets in here. Just kidding. That's not
Let's
happening.
go.
All right. So that wraps us up for this episode. Couple quick little hits here. One, if you want to follow us on social media, at Ring the Bell 856 on Instagram, at Ring the Bell 856 on Twitter. Find us on YouTube, Ring the Bell, a Phillies podcast. Hit the subscribe button. If you're watching this, smash the like button. That really helps us. Again, if you listen to the audio version of us, please, if you're on Apple, the majority of our audience, over 57% last I checked, listen to us on Apple Podcasts. Please rate and review. Give us a star rating. I don't care what it is, 1 or 5. I prefer 5. That'd be great. But it really helps us in terms of the algorithm. That's the word of the show. It's going to be on a T-shirt when we release our shirts. Algorithm. If you guys keep voting,
spell algorithm, bro. Spell algorithm. Okay.
It's got to be ALGORIT. I can't remember. That's really hard. Algorithm. It's got to be ALGORIT.
I'm sure it's spelled phonetic. I'm sure it's spelled the way it sounds.
Yeah, you never know. You just never know.
I think that I is a Y. I think that I is a Y.
I think it is.
I don't know. Again, look it up again. I think it's ALGORITHM. That's got to be it, right? This is high quality podcast entertainment.
Oh, there is an I. It is an I.
There you go. Wow. Thank you. Cheers.
I would have said why.
You owe me wings, Jay. All right. Also, again, what that does is if you guys go to type in Phillies in the search bar for podcasts, we'll be like one of the top 5 or 10 podcasts that show up for you. It means a lot. That's how Apple judges how their algorithm pushes certain podcasts to the tippy top of a search bar. So yeah, please rate and review. It does mean a lot. Like us on YouTube. Follow us. Also, likes mean a ton. For some reason, YouTube puts all their stock in a like button. So whatever. You got to do what you got to do, right? Also, last thing. Jay's been working really hard on this, and I really appreciate him for it. We have merch coming. A lot of it.
Looks good. Looks good.
And I can't wait. We have so many things. We have sweatpants. We have shorts, hats, T-shirts. If you maybe our logo will be on a thong for all I know. But look, nonetheless, it's coming soon. Wow, that came out very wrong. Segueing from saying thong. Look, this merch store will be happening within the near future. we are working with our logo department, our branding department, to help us out, fixing up our logo a little bit that is suitable for different looks on a t-shirt or a hoodie. But they're coming. We're so excited for it. It's something we've been talking about for a long time. We've been asked about it so much, as when you getting t-shirts, when you getting hats. I said, we're working on it. It's not that easy to find places to do it. That's not, hey, buy 30 of these, so they're $15 a piece. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, I love y'all.
Wish it was
I'm not
15
doing
a
it.
piece.
Yeah, I know, right? Right. But no. So again, the plan moving forward is you're going to get 2 shows a week. You're going to get one after the.
Before you go, Chris, before we go into that, I wanted to shout out, right? Shout out Dan, right? Is that right, Dan?
Oh yeah. So
Dan, I appreciate you, buddy.
yeah, man.
I'm with you. Me and you we can live the Schwarber hate together. I appreciate you, bud.
Yeah.
I
So
got
to
I'll join you. I can't stand that guy.
So to kind of real quick before we end it, what happened was I was in my local Starbucks a couple days ago. I was actually picking up a drink for my wife, and I go in.
You liar.
I get like one thing there, but she was getting ready to travel, so I picked her up a drink. I was getting her a drink. I was wearing my my Burgundy Harper t-shirt. So I get a tap on the back, and it's a guy. His name's Dan. He was like 6'1", maybe. Who cares? Who cares? I'm not gonna run down this whole thing for him. But
235.
235. I bet he squatted 350. He's got at least 21-inch arms. And he tapped me on the back and said, "Are you Christy Francesco from the Ring the Bell podcast?" I said, "Yes, I am. Did I say something bad?" Like, that's usually when I think if somebody is going to point me out, I probably said something that they didn't like. But no, he was just super, super kind. And he said he and his buddies listen to our show all the time, every week. And they're so happy that we're streaming. So are we. It was really, really neat. I wish he didn't run out so fast. I would have loved to have, paid for his drink, which probably would have made sure I didn't have a chance to pay my mortgage because of how expensive Starbucks is. But it was super nice, and it made all of this really worth it. That one dude makes this all worth it to me, anyway. But yeah, we have so much coming down the pike. We're going to be doing 2 shows a week now. After the first series of the week, we're going to come on. We're going to do, just like tonight, do a post game and wrap up the series, and then we're going to preview the next one. But we'll see you Sunday to wrap up the week, and then to preview the whole week ahead. Super excited for everything we have coming to you guys. Stick with us. We'll keep updating you on the merch and anything else that's coming. Johnny Mac here will be a more consistent part of the show. He will be here either the midweek or the end of the week, or both, depending on how things go. There's a lot of times that Dean can't make a pod, so we have Mac here, and then we have Jay, who usually makes every show, but then sometimes just like 5 minutes before we'll say I can't do it today. So the good thing is we have other starters here that's going to help us out. I'm Christy Francesco. That's Jason Kent and John McElroy. This has been the Ring the Bell podcast, and we'll catch you guys down the road. And as always, go Phils.